Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyper Roll with Autarch and our continuing adventure with 3-star 4 costs. In general, if I get a Kabuko, I'm going to put him out in the first round just in case I get more because he's going to gain health. But let's look at the first set of augments. Shopping Spree is incredibly powerful, especially in Hyper Roll, because you're guaranteed to go to 10. So you're going to get a lot of free rerolls late in the game. And once we had a Kindred, a 2-star Kabuko, and a Rexcite, yeah, it's Dr. Eeper time. And Dr. Eeper usually is a quick start, but I wanted to show this fight for a different reason. The amount of champs that can miss their ult this season. Keep your eye on Kog'Maw. He should hit this next ult on Kha'zix. It just straight out misses, and that allows Kha'zix to have just enough to win the round. Your dream item in Dr. Eeper is a spatula so that you can ultimately turn Kabuko into a Dryad, and then you can get to the 6 Dryads. You have lots of options for your carry. You can now use Gnar or Yone with basically the same items, Bloodthirster, Titan's Resolve, and Rage Blade. Either of them will work, or if you get Rage Blade and then additional damage items, you can build them up on Kindred. Lately, I've been using Gnar just because it's been more fun. Second set of augments, new recruits, pretty much a guaranteed take unless something ridiculous happens, and it doesn't happen, so we get another player out on the board. And we got our gold 3-star Kabuko, so he's going to be gaining lots of health throughout this fight. He's getting 200 health per round, plus the health per takedown for being a Dryad, and he's going to be a really solid tank. As you can see, he hangs in here right until the very end. And part of the reason I've shifted towards Gnar in this build is because I find him almost completely uncontested, whereas you're going to have Kindred contested in other Fated builds and Yone in Umbral builds. Gnar is Warden, and people don't tend to build him up, so they'll stop at 2 stars, which gives you a license to get to 3. Item-wise, final item we'd really like is a Rage Blade, so we'll go ahead and grab the bow here. But as you can see, we are grabbing lots of Gnars along the way and are now just 1 away from a gold 3-star Gnar. The other part about switching to Gnar is the fact that Gnar has been buffed, nerfed, buffed. It's now a little stronger than it was at the start. So combining that along with the fact that there's a lot of competition for the other units, I tend to just go with Gnar for safety. It is time for our final set of augments, and barring a golden egg, I am taking Prismatic Ticket. No golden egg, we will go with Prismatic Ticket because we're going to want to 3-star as many of these people as possible. The downside to using Gnar is that Gnar is going to be directly in the front line and so could go down quickly versus a Yone who's going to snap in and out of the back line. Again, I'd rather have a 3-star Gnar than a 1-star Yone. And just in general, a couple of things about the build. I tend to go for the 4 Reapers before I get anywhere else. Annie is also a very important component because she's going to tick Invoker along with Azir once Azir gets in, but you're likely to get Annie first, and she will really help shore up that front line. And this one is just rampaging on all cylinders as we now have an Azir and an Annie on a bench. I decided to bring in a Warden in Nautilus simply because we had an additional player and might as well tick Warden for Gnar since Gnar is our main damage, but now we have a gold 3-star Kindred coming in. It is time for an item choice, and we want to start thinking about Azir items or Annie items, which are either going to be tank items or mana producing / AP items. So, Spear of Sojin, meet Azir. And I could have brought in Azir to make the 6th Dryad, but at this point, I'm not concerned about whether to get the top 4. We're in it because these people are going to knock each other out long before we could get eliminated. So, I'm pretty comfortable with the position we're in right now. Time for another item choice, and it's a little bit of a tough call because the Warmogs would be great for Annie, but she's not in yet. Azir is in, so we can give him a jeweled gauntlet. And just keep your eye on Gnar in this fight. I think adding the Warden in helped a little. That's not usual because you don't always get an extra player, but it gave him just a little more tankiness that allowed him to just stay in and decimate the opposing team, leading the damage charts. And on Gnar's back, we are now into the top 4 with an item choice to make. Nothing here really perfect, but we can put a blue buff on Kindred since she's basically guaranteed to crit on each of her ults, so if she ults more often, that's a lot more critting to go. And we're likely in a win condition right now. However, if somebody else manages to get a 3-star 4 cost, it could tear through the team, but all things being equal, we are going to beat these other teams between Kindred and Gnar, who, as you will see at the end, are splitting leads on the damage chart. So Shopping Spree along with Prismatic Ticket is insanely OP, and it's for this reason. Just look at our bench. We have a 2-star Azir, we have an additional 2-star Ornn, and then another Ornn. Item-wise, does it really matter? We can just put a Rage Blade on Azir. But now we're looking for which way do we want to go? Will we get 2 more Azirs? Now we just need 1 more Azir or 1 more Ornn. We have a champion duplicator on the bench. So we're pretty close to being guaranteed to hit one of these. I'm not buying and selling because it would just take too much time, and we're limited. We hit the Ornn first, roll through just a little bit more until we're almost out of time, and we get the gold Ornn without even having to use our champion duplicator. So now, what does a gold 3-star Ornn do? Number 1, he just doesn't die. He has an insane shield, and he will be giving items to everyone, including himself. And you can see Ornn soon ends up with all the items, so you don't have to itemize a 3-star Ornn. He will take care of it himself and pretty easily win you the match, and it's GG for everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video as we continue through our 3-star 4 costs. And as always, have an absolutely awesome day.